Welcome as we continue learning about the process of going from the sheep to a piece of clothing. Sheep are typically sheared in the spring. Their thick wool coat, called a fleece, is quite dense and can be very warm in the summer months. A spring shearing ensures that the animal can stay cooler when the outside temperatures are high. Back in the early 1800s, some local farmers took an extra step before shearing their sheep. To make sure the wool was as clean as possible, they took their sheep swimming. In the town of Malta, there is an area that was known as the sheep hole. This is a place where the creek widened out into more of a pond shape. Farmers would chase their sheep into that area of the creek and then follow them into the water. The farmers would squish and squeeze the wool to try and wash out as much of the mud and muck as possible. They would then chase the sheep up out of the water and let them dry off for a few days. Once it was time, the shearer would select a sheep and move it into position. Shearers make this look easy, but it takes a lot of talent, knowledge, and patience to do this safely and quickly. The sheep must be held firmly so it won't move or thrash around while being sheared. It's almost like having to be a barber and a wrestler at the same time. Shearing is also a time for a quick pedicure. While the sheep is in position, the shearer trims their hooves to make it easier for them to walk. While the sheep doesn't seem to be thrilled about being sheared, they are not hurt in the process. It's just like getting a haircut. The wool fleece is carefully trimmed away from the body. Today, shearers use electric trimmers, much like those used by barbers. Back in the 1700s and 1800s, hand shears would be used. These metal shears take a lot of hand strength to use, especially for long periods of time. Once the wool has been sheared from the sheep, the wool must be inspected and improved. This process is called skirting. The farmer lays the fleece out and removes any debris, like bits of hay, small sticks, and chunks of dirt. Next, the wool fleece is washed in big tubs of water. This removes more dirt and some of the lanolin, the oil produced by the sheep's skin. Lanolin is actually quite useful and is found in many lotions and makeup products today, as it is good for human skin too. In fact, sheep shearers often have very soft hands in spite of the hard work that they do. The lanolin in the wool fleece softens their hands like lotion. After the wool is laid out in the sun to dry, the fleece is picked. This is another chance to take out anything that shouldn't be in there, like more grass and hay. This was a common chore for children who lived on farms long ago. Picking also involves fluffing up the wool to prepare it for the next steps. Be sure to look for our next video, where we will talk about how the wool is first combed and carded and then spun into yarn. From all of us at Brookside Museum, home of the Saratoga County Historical Society, thank you for joining us today.